everybody. Hi, I'm Harrison Blake. Some of you, most of you, know me as Blake, but Harrison Blake is my pen name, so you can call me either. I really don't care. Unless you're talking about my poetry, which you shouldn't spend your time doing. But if you do, please use Harrison, because it's what it's published under. And yeah, I'm excited to be a part of Cohort 5, one of the first of 2 writers. So exciting, me and Chukwudi Ukone. I don't think he's here tonight, but I'm very excited to completely destroy the Cedars Union with writing. Okay, let's get into it. It's a very minimal presentation, no visuals. So how did I get here? For most of my life, like from age 5 to 17, I did theater, and 17 unfortunately wasn't like too long ago for me. But I did theater, and that was all I wanted to do, and I wanted to be an actor. And then college came, and I didn't want to do theater anymore. So I went to UTD for literature originally, and then I ended up studying art history. And by the end of my time at UTD, I was focusing on postmodern photography, specifically conceptual photography, and really enjoying that. But throughout this whole process, through school, I was always writing poetry, just not publishing it anywhere, showing it to my one best friend who was really, really annoyed with me. And it just didn't feel like it was a serious part of my life. But about 2 years ago, it wasn't just at this moment, but I like to imagine it was. About 2 years ago, I saw a video of an interview of Toni Morrison, and I love Toni Morrison. I love everything that she's written and everything that she does. And she was talking about how she famously started writing late in her life and had been an editor for a long time, and she realized that at a certain point in her life, if she did not start writing and taking it seriously, that she was going to die. That was her wording. And not in a literal sense, but in the sense of her psychology, a sense of her well-being. She was gonna like condemn herself to a slow fate. And I decided that that's basically what I had been doing by not writing. And so I said, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna try. If I fail, at least I'll know I tried, and I'll go back to art history, I'll go back to something else and just do that. Well, I didn't fail. So for the past 2 years, I've dedicated most of my time to writing poetry. I also work at Erin Cluley Gallery, so I have a little bit of the art in me. I work as their press release writer and their gallery associate. So I'm very thankful, very happy to just be paid to write and also write in my free time. And yeah. So for the Cedars Union, obviously I came here to write. I came here to have a studio away from my apartment, a dedicated space where I would focus on writing and just have a kind of accomplishment that said, here is a place that you earned through your poetry and that you will continually earn over the course of 18 months. But I have some specific planned projects. I really hope over the course of my 18 months, the first step in a poet's career is usually publishing a chapbook, which is a short book of poetry, usually around one theme. So I really hope to be able to get a chapbook together or get enough poems to be able to like start putting one together. That I will consider that a great accomplishment if I can do that. But also, more specifically, I do have, here's a graphic. I do have planned to open or start a literary journal that's based out of Cedars Union called Conflicted Interests, and that is the Dallas Pegasus with Teats and Romulus and Remus on there. And I want it to be a Dallas-based publication because I've always thought that Dallas should have one, and Dallas should focus not just on supporting writers superficially, saying that they're a literary hub, which, you know, we have great spots. Deep Ellum, big fan. But I think that it should actually come with like real support in publishing, and hopefully eventually I'll be able to provide financial support for writers. But this will be a journal that I hope to start and bring poets that I really enjoy, hopefully poets who aren't widely published, and give them something to hand to people and show people and also be proud of their work. I know I haven't spent much of my time talking about my poetry, but I'm going to finish my presentation by reading a poem because I think that's the best way to know what I do. It has words in it. I don't need to say words to describe. That's redundant. But Matt, I know you edit these. Cut this part out, okay? Because this poem is forthcoming in Sugar House Review. Check out for it in fall of 2025. Cut here. Okay. So this poem is called Self-Portrait as Theseus. And for those who don't know, Theseus, famously in Greek mythology, went into the maze of the Minotaur and slayed the Minotaur, and then and then was given a ball of string and found his way out by following the string that he had left on the way in. So here is the poem. Self-Portrait as Theseus. There are years with no art. They are back to back like bullets no one's immune to. Theseus remembers them by the single blade razor around his shirt tails, scoring the whole place. It is very embarrassing. His mother's Carrara marble with an artless Cy Twombly. In this version, he is trapped by a child's cursive homework, and he tries shaving the skin to alabaster, but it does no good. He is the lone survivor of his life. In this version, he escapes with a cheat sheet in hand, because somewhere a boy made of string loves him. So the boy leaves a trail Theseus destroys into a garden. And there is art now, and there are hoofbeats, and bulls swallow the field behind their house like wildfire. Thank you, guys. Work.
I know we personally talked about the idea of using the Cedars Union resources to make physical copies, either for printmaking or other ways. Have you kind of thought about path forward of doing something like that?
Well, I have no idea how to print anything unless it's out of an inkjet printer. So I hope to, on Saturday, learn a little bit about that. But definitely, yeah, I want to print them in-house, whether that's using rudimentary zine techniques. I've always been iffy about zines, but I think they're fun and economical, which is great. So yeah, I hope to use the printmaking resources here to to design that. I don't know how, I might need a lot of help because for the most part, I just use Word and again, my Epson printer. But yeah, I do really hope to bring that into it and actually use the resources because I think it'd be really cool.
So, as the first of two, how have you configured your space here?
Very cozy, very clean. Sometimes when I'm here late at night, I just turn off all the lights in my half of the gallery and just turn on my lamp and roll my posture up. That's not really configuring the space. But mostly it's my books. Mostly for me, it was about creating a library that's curated around my poetry practice and also kind of recreating my house. I know I wanted to get away from my apartment, but I also wanted to be in my apartment, just secluded and with an intentional focus. But for the most part, it's really comfort. If there's anything that distracts me from writing, then I'm not going to write, or it's going to be bad, or streamlining the process is a big part of it. Putting all the good parts of my apartment into a separate space and enjoying them when they're separate. Yeah.
world, kind of outlined in the red, and I started.
If you do, please use Harrison.
You do these things so you feel a connection to the person.
Like I said, I came from Michelangelo when I was a little. And I'm gonna read like what I wrote here, as a lot of my colleagues are. All right, well,
So my goal for Cedars Union, not respond, but you can follow me if you want.
So here's a little bit about what I've published in the past. We were talking about this the other time. Yeah, I would love to.
It looks much smoother on my screen.